Good evening. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I'm here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. Go ahead and put your questions in the comments. Now, I have a great topic for you. I'm going to be talking about how to apply for the U visa even after you have yourself either crossed the border without permission or overstayed. But keep in mind that if you have any questions, go ahead and put those questions in the comments because I'm here to answer your U.S. immigration related questions. So, the U visa, what is that? The U visa is for victims, and U visa or status. In this case, I'm going to be talking about getting U status in the case that you are out of status yourself. U status means that you're here, you're applying for legal status in the United States without leaving. And so it's different from the visa in that the visa you'd have to get in at the embassy in your country, but in this case, you're applying for the U status. But this is just an informal way term that we refer to it as a U visa, but it's really U status. Now, U status is for victims of certain qualifying crimes. If you have been the victim of a crime that has resulted in your mental or physical abuse, then that means that you could possibly qualify for this. Now, this is not crimes that would have happened in your country. It has to be crimes that have specifically violated U.S. law or has been perpetrated by a U.S. person. Now, I'm going to give you, there are a long list of types of criminal conduct that can qualify you for this, but the common ones would be assault, would be stalking, would be domestic violence. And so the U status would be a good option here. So the U status allows you to be able to gain a work permit, gain legal status in the United States, despite you not having your status here. Now, keep in mind that the list of the offenses that I listed, they're not an exclusive list. If you've been the victim of any crime and you walked out of that being harmed physically or mentally, you should schedule a consultation with me to evaluate your situation. Now, what if you have overstayed? What if you're here without status? How can this fix your situation? If you haven't left the United States and you haven't triggered any unlawful presence bars, then you would be able to go through the process of getting U status without necessarily jumping through hoops. But even if you are rendered inadmissible for, say, you came in with someone else's passport, that's called misrepresentation or fraud under immigration law, but there are waivers available. That means that you have the ability, and not every status has this ability, but under the U status, while you're applying, you have the ability to ask for forgiveness. And it is a type of waiver that is particularly generous in this circumstance because there's an emphasis on humanitarianism and the ability to forgive the past immigration violations for someone who desperately needs help in the United States. And so that waiver would be what would enable you to fix your status in the case you're out of status, or you have unlawful presence, or you have misrepresentation, or you even have an arrest that render you inadmissible. Now, keep in mind that I'm also here to answer your immigration related questions. So be sure to put your questions in the comments so that I can address any of your questions that you may have. So put those in the comments and then I will answer those questions. Let me formally introduce myself. I'm U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I help clients to get their green card and status in the United States. I also come on here Mondays through Fridays to take your immigration questions, and I also come with a great topic. Today, I have been talking about getting the U visa, even in the case that you have overstayed or you've crossed the border without permission. That is a possibility, and your overstay or any types of past immigration violations or even criminal offenses should not stop you from checking if you qualify, because it is still possible to qualify for benefits under the U status. You could still get U status even with these past immigration or criminal violations. Now, for those of you who are just joining, let me reiterate that the U visa is for victims of certain qualifying crimes. And you should, while, being the victim of a crime, it may want, in cases like that, you may want to contract, you may want to hide away from the situation. But I'm here to tell you that this is a form of relief that you may need to move forward with your life. And so if you've been the victim of any kind of crime, the first thing you need to be doing is scheduling a consultation and checking if this could be your solution to obtain status here in the U.S. Now, the benefits of applying for the U visa, should you qualify, is that once you submit a proper application, you will be able to stay in the United States and get your work permit while the process is moving forward. The entire U status process is taking around 10 years, but the Biden administration has updated policies to say that they will now put U visa applicants who apply, who submit all the documentation on a deferred action list that would allow them to get a work permit within months instead of years, while you wait for the U visa. And that's huge because you're not stuck in limbo. You can actually get a head start on your life in the United States with a work permit. You could legally work and continue to move past your past victimization. So keep that one in mind. Now, I'm here to answer your questions, so put those questions in the comments. Today is the last day of the week that I'll be here to answer questions. Next week, I'll be back. I will be out on Monday and Tuesday. I will be back on Wednesday, where we will continue to talk about immigration issues, to answer your questions. So it depends on what type of application. So I see here, do I have to be on a housing lease to file for a green card? In this case, it's too general for me to understand what the context of the question is. Usually when you're on a housing lease, that is a type of evidence that you could show you're in a bona fide marriage with your spouse. It's good evidence to show you live there, that you're partially responsible for the rents, and that your spouse shares that lease with you. So in that, while it's not an absolute necessity, it really depends on, the USCIS doesn't expect you to come up with evidence that you don't have. But it is good evidence to show that you do reside together. If you don't have it, you should find alternative evidence to show that you reside in the same place. Great question. Keep putting those questions in the comments while I'm here. I will be out on Monday and Tuesday. I usually come on Mondays through Fridays, but I'll be out on Monday or Tuesday, and I'll be back on Wednesday to answer your questions at around 4 p.m. Eastern time. So be ready with your questions. I'll come with great topics to continue to talk to you about. Now, if you would like to schedule a consultation, go ahead and call the phone number. The phone number is all over my videos. It's also on the profile page. If you go there, you click on the link, it will take you to the website or give you different options to be able to schedule your appointment. Go ahead and do that. The scheduling coordinators are available up until 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. Get on my schedule so we can talk about your particular circumstances and get started on your case. My schedule is filling up, so it's best to start early to make sure that we get all your information and we have a good head start on your matter. So that's all I have for you today. I don't see any more questions. I'll be back tomorrow. Well, no, sorry, not tomorrow, because tomorrow is Saturday. I'm only on Mondays to Fridays. I'll be back on Wednesday, just because I have engagements on both Monday and Tuesday. So I'll be back on Wednesday to answer your immigration questions. Now, here's a good opportunity though. If you have more time today, you can join me right now in a minute on Instagram, because I'm heading on over there to answer some more U.S. immigration related questions. So I hope to see you in a minute. On Instagram, I'm the immigration attorney. So really easy to find, because it's the same as here. It's the same as on YouTube, and it's the same on TikTok. So I'm the same, the immigration attorney. Go to Instagram. You can also go to the link in the profile, and it's going to take you there where you'll see the Instagram button. Thanks for those of you who followed, for asking your question. I'll be back on Wednesday where we can continue to have a good conversation. I'll see you in a minute on Instagram, or I'll speak with you in a consultation soon. Have a good one.